From the very first day of middle school, Darren Watkins, the boy who would one day call himself IShowSpeed, felt like the world had already made up its mind about him. He wasn't rich. He wasn't athletic. He wasn't the loud, confident kid that girls whispered about in the hallways. Instead, Darren was the boy sitting alone at the cafeteria table, pushing around his mashed potatoes while everyone else laughed in their cliques. He was the boy who always raised his hand in class, only to hear snickers when he got the answer wrong. "Bro, why you even here?" one of the basketball jocks, Marcus, muttered one afternoon when Darren tripped while trying to join their lunchtime game. The ball slipped through his hands, and everyone erupted in laughter. Even the girls on the benches, giggling with their phones out, recorded him as if he were some joke to be posted online. Darren's ears burned with shame. He wanted to yell, "I'm not dumb. I'm not useless." But no words came out. Instead, he just picked himself up, brushed off his jeans, and walked away. That was the story of his life. Always walking away, never standing tall. Home wasn't much better. Darren's mom was working 2 jobs, a cashier by day, cleaning offices by night. His father had been gone since Darren was 3. His little sister, Kyra, needed help with homework every evening, and more often than not, Darren was left in charge of cooking noodles and watching over her. It wasn't that his mom didn't care. She cared too much. She wanted Darren to be somebody. But all she ever saw in him were mistakes. "Darren, why do teachers keep calling me about your grades?" she scolded one evening as she threw down her purse. "Do you want to end up like your father? Huh, no future. No nothing." Darren bit his lip. He was trying, but trying didn't seem enough. "I'll do better, Mom," he whispered. But inside, he thought, "No one believes in me. Not at school. Not even here at home." The loneliness began to suffocate him. It was a random Tuesday night when Darren found the thing that would change his life forever. He was scrolling on YouTube, trying to drown out his thoughts, when he stumbled upon a streamer shouting into his mic while playing a game. The chat was exploding with comments, donations flying in. Darren leaned closer to the screen. People are actually watching him, thousands of them. They're laughing. They're cheering. They're making him feel like somebody. For the first time in his life, Darren felt a spark inside. Maybe I could do this. He didn't have money for fancy equipment. All he had was an old hand-me-down laptop, a shaky internet connection, and a pair of broken earbuds with one side working. But that night, he set up a YouTube channel. And just like that, IShowSpeed was born. The first stream was awkward. Darren sat in his tiny bedroom, walls peeling, a flickering light overhead. He opened his laptop camera and spoke to nobody. What's up, y'all?" he muttered nervously, adjusting his headset. "It's your boy Speed. We gonna play some 2K today." He played for 2 hours. Not a single viewer showed up. Not one comment. The next day, he tried again. 0 views. The day after that, still nothing. But Darren didn't stop. "I don't care," he said to himself one night, clenching his fist. "Even if nobody's watching, I'm gonna act like 1,000,000 people are watching. One day they will." And so he shouted at the screen, laughed at his own jokes, raged when he lost, celebrated when he won. Alone in that dark room, Darren performed as if the world was listening. Word got around. Some classmates stumbled upon his tiny channel and started mocking him. "Yo, Speed, saw you screaming into the mic last night." Marcus sneered in the hallway. "Who you yelling at, bro? You're imaginary fans." The hallway burst into laughter. Another girl whispered loudly, "He really thinks he's going to be famous? Please. He can't even dribble a ball without tripping." Darren's cheeks flushed red, but he didn't stop. What they didn't see was how alive he felt when that red live button was on. It didn't matter that the world mocked him. Streaming was the first time he felt like he had a voice. One Friday night, after weeks of silence, it happened. He was raging during a FIFA match when suddenly the chat lit up. Viewer 123. LOL you funny BRO. Real 199. Yo Speed. Keep grinding. His heart skipped a beat. Someone's here. Someone's actually watching. Yo, yo, yo. What's good, chat? Darren shouted, his face lighting up like Christmas. Let's go. Y'all rocking with me tonight. It was only 3 viewers, then 5, then 10. But to Darren, It felt like the entire world. For the first time, strangers were laughing with him, not at him. But the bullying didn't stop. A week later, Marcus and his crew cornered him by the lockers. "So, Mr. YouTube star," Marcus said with a smirk, shoving Darren's books to the floor. "How much money you make? $2? Or maybe just free internet fame?" Darren picked up his books silently. His fist shook, but he refused to let tears fall. "You laugh now," he said quietly. "But one day, I'm going to be bigger than all of you." The hallway went silent for a moment. Then everyone burst out laughing again. But this time, Darren didn't flinch. Because deep inside, he knew something had begun. A fire. A dream. A path that no one else could see yet. Every morning Darren, IShowSpeed, woke up to the same reality. He was still that lonely boy at school. The one kids mocked in the cafeteria. The one teacher sighed at when his grades slipped. But every night, when the world went quiet, his bedroom turned into a stage. The cracked laptop became his spotlight. The broken earbuds became his mic. And that glowing live button became his lifeline. "All right, chat." Darren shouted one night into the dim light. "We back, we live, we turn up." There were only 12 people watching, but to him, it was like Madison Square Garden was packed with screaming fans. Streaming became an obsession. Darren would come home from school, toss his backpack in the corner, microwave noodles for him and Kyra, then lock himself in his room. Hours slipped into nights as he raged, laughed, and talked into the void, sometimes to 10 viewers, sometimes to none. His mom began to notice. "Darren," she said one night, standing at his door, "why are you up at 3 a.m. screaming at that computer? You've got school in the morning. This is why your grades are dropping." "Mom," Darren replied, eyes glowing from the monitor's reflection. "Just trust me, please. I'm building something." His mom sighed. She didn't understand. To her, it looked like a waste of time, a boy chasing shadows on a screen. Bills were piling up. His mom was exhausted. Sometimes the internet almost got cut off because they were late on payments. And Darren, he felt torn. At school, Marcus and the others never let up. "Yo, Speed, where your fans at?" Marcus mocked in gym class. "Bet they all imaginary, just like your future." Laughter filled the room. But Darren didn't swing back. He just thought, "I'll prove you wrong. One day, you'll eat your words." Still, doubt crept in at night. What if I fail? What if they're right? What if this whole dream is just stupid? But then, the chat would light up with a single comment like, "Fanguy42, yo Speed, you made my night. Don't stop streaming, bro." And Darren would smile. Because even if it was one person, he was making someone out there feel less alone. By sophomore year, Darren's streams started to pick up. Slowly, painfully slow. 20 viewers, then 50, then 100. His tiny room echoed with his signature chaos, screaming at FIFA referees, raging at 2K, singing off-key into the mic chat. "Y'all better not clip that. Don't clip it," he yelled one night, after embarrassing himself with a bad freestyle. Of course, they clipped it. They always clipped it. And that's what made him different. Darren wasn't pretending to be perfect. He wasn't some polished celebrity. He was raw, real, messy, unpredictable. And the internet began to love him for it. The more Darren streamed, the less time he had for schoolwork. His grades slipped further. Teachers pulled him aside. "Darren, you're smart," said Mrs. Hayes, his English teacher. "But you're wasting it. You're never focused in class. What's going on?" He wanted to tell her, "I'm building something bigger than grades. Something you can't see yet." But instead, he just mumbled, "I'm fine, miss." The truth, he wasn't fine. The double life was exhausting. By day, he was the bullied kid. By night, he was Speed, chaotic, wild, and slowly growing a digital family who believed in him. It happened on a random Tuesday. Darren was live, playing NBA 2K. He missed a shot and went into a full meltdown, screaming, flailing his arms, knocking over his cheap lamp. "Bro, this game is trash," he roared, his voice cracking. The chat exploded in laughter. Someone clipped the moment and posted it on Twitter. Within hours, it had thousands of views. By the next morning, Darren woke up to dozens of notifications. Yo, Speed, you trending, bro. Speed Rage compilation when? Who is this crazy kid, LMAO? For the first time, his classmates weren't laughing at him because he failed. They were laughing with him. Even Marcus confronted him in the hallway. Yo, you that kid screaming on Twitter? That was you. Bro, you wild. It wasn't respect yet, but it wasn't pure mockery either. Something was shifting. That little taste of virality became fuel. Every stream, Darren pushed harder, louder, crazier, more unpredictable. He barked like a dog when he lost a game. He danced awkwardly to random music. He raged, he laughed, he cried, sometimes all in one stream. The chat grew from 100 people to 500 to thousands, and donations started rolling in. The first time he saw a $10 pop up on his screen, his jaw dropped. Wait, y'all giving me money? For real? He jumped around his room, almost hitting his head on the ceiling. Let's go. Speed on top. For the first time in his life, Darren wasn't the boy nobody wanted. He was the boy people chose to watch, to support, to cheer for. At home, tension grew. His mom saw the hours he spent online. She worried about his future. Darren, she said one night, her voice heavy. You're up all night screaming. Your grades are failing. This isn't a career. This is just a hobby. You need to focus on real life. Mom, Darren argued, this is real life. People out there are watching me. I'm making money. I'm building something big. She shook her head. Until I see it pay the bills, it's not real. Her doubt stung more than any bully at school. But Darren didn't quit. If anything, it made him grind harder. While other kids were out at parties, dating, playing sports, Darren was glued to his screen. His social life shrank to nothing. But his digital life? It was exploding. One night, after a particularly insane FIFA stream, his chat spammed. Speed going viral, clip this. This dude's the funniest streamer alive. He leaned back in his chair, sweat dripping, voice hoarse from shouting. And for the first time, he whispered to himself, I'm not a nobody anymore. I'm Speed. By junior year, Darren wasn't just streaming to strangers. His classmates, even the ones who bullied him, were tuning in. Yo, Speed, you going live tonight? A kid asked in the cafeteria. Even Marcus, who once mocked him, tried to slide in with fake support. Hey bro, we should collab sometime. I can hoop, you can rage, it'd be funny. Darren smirked. Now you want to be my friend? The tables were turning. But deep down, Darren knew this was only the beginning. He was still small compared to the giants online. Still, something inside him whispered, keep pushing. Don't stop. You're destined for more. It started like any other stream. Darren, now known everywhere as IShowSpeed, sat in his cramped bedroom, headphones crooked on his head, energy bouncing off the walls. Chat, we live, baby. Y'all ready for this? The chat was moving faster than ever before. Thousands of names flying past his screen. Not hundreds anymore, thousands. Darren barely had time to process it when a viewer dropped a $100 donation. Speed, you saved my life. Bro, don't ever stop. He froze. His throat tightened. For years, he had been the kid nobody noticed. Now strangers were literally paying him, thanking him, telling him he mattered. Something inside him shifted forever. The clips piled up. His rage at FIFA referees. His wild dance moves. His high-pitched scream when a jump scare caught him. And, of course, his infamous barking at trolls in the chat. Every day, another clip went viral. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Reddit. Everywhere, Darren's face was popping up. At school, it became impossible to ignore. Yo, Speed, I saw you trending again last night. Bro, teach me how to blow up too. Even teachers whispered his name in the hallway. The same Marcus who once mocked him now strutted up with fake enthusiasm. Speed, my guy, you really did it. We brothers now, right? Darren just stared at him. Years of pain, mockery, and isolation echoed in that moment. No, he said quietly. We not brothers. And he walked away, the whole hallway watching. Suddenly, Darren wasn't just a streamer. He was a phenomenon. Brand deals reached out. Other big creators wanted collabs. Fan pages dedicated whole accounts to his clips. He walked into school one morning, and kids were literally chanting his name. IShowSpeed. IShowSpeed. The boy who once ate lunch alone now had people begging to sit with him. But instead of soaking in the attention, Darren kept thinking, this is cool, but it ain't enough. I want the world. Fame looked glamorous on the outside, but behind the streams, Darren was cracking. Streaming became relentless. 12 hours a day. Sometimes 16. Barely eating, barely sleeping. His mom grew worried again. Darren, baby, I see the money coming in. I see the fans, but I see your eyes too. You're tired. You're burning yourself out. I can't stop, Mom, Darren insisted. This is my moment. If I stop now, it's gone. Everything's gone. Kyra, his little sister, poked her head in. Speed, play with me. But Darren shook his head. Not now, Kyra. I'm live. Her face fell. She didn't understand. And in that moment, neither did he. With fame came criticism. People loved him for his chaos, but others hated him for it too. You too loud. You too crazy. You'll never last. Online hate started pouring in, just as fast as the love. At first, Darren laughed it off. Chat, they hating on me. But speed don't stop. But at night, lying in bed after the stream ended, the words replayed in his head. Too much. Too weird. Too wild. Too fake. He wondered if maybe, just maybe, the world would turn on him the same way school once did. It all came crashing down during one infamous stream. He was exhausted, running on 2 hours of sleep. His chat was rowdy, egging him on, daring him to go wilder, crazier. He snapped, yelling, barking, slamming his desk until it cracked. The clip blew up, but not the way he hoped. News outlets covered it. Critics called him toxic, a bad influence, unhinged. For the first time, Darren's mom barged in midstream. Enough, Darren. Enough, she cried. This isn't healthy. This isn't you. Look at yourself. He sat there, stunned, with thousands of people still watching. The room fell silent. His chest heaved. His screen blurred from tears. And he ended the stream. For days, Darren didn't go live. The internet buzzed with speculation. Where's Speed? Did he quit? Is he okay? But in his bedroom, Darren sat in the dark, staring at his offline screen. Kyra walked in one evening, clutching a drawing she made. It was a stick figure of him at a computer with the words, "My brother makes people happy." She handed it to him with a shy smile. "Don't be sad, Speed. You're my hero." He hugged her tight, tears streaming. In that moment, he realized he wasn't just entertaining strangers. He was inspiring them. He was giving people laughter, hope, and escape. And he couldn't let that go. Darren came back live with a different energy. Chat, I know I've been wild. I know I messed up. But listen, I ain't going nowhere. I'm not perfect. I never will be. But I'm Speed. And if you rockin' with me, we gone the top together. The chat erupted with love. We missed you, Speed. Don't ever leave again. Speed W comeback. From that night on, his streams balanced chaos with heart. He still raged, still barked, still danced like a maniac. But he also took time to talk to fans, to share pieces of his story, to remind them they weren't alone. And that's when his growth skyrocketed. Millions, tens of millions, a movement. By senior year, Darren wasn't just a kid in school anymore. He was a global star. He traveled. He met celebrities. He played in charity matches with professional footballers. Kids from Africa to Asia screamed his name when he went live. The boy who once had no friends. The boy who once ate alone in the cafeteria. The boy who once cried himself to sleep because he didn't belong anywhere, now belonged everywhere. And he never forgot that lonely kid in the corner. That kid became his fuel. That kid became his fire. Graduation day came. As Darren walked the stage in his cap and gown, the entire auditorium erupted. Not just because he was graduating, but because everyone knew what he had become. His mom cried in the front row. Kyra waved her Speed sign proudly. Even Marcus, the bully who once laughed at him, sat silently, unable to deny the truth. Darren took the diploma, raised it high, and thought, From nobody to speed. And I ain't done yet. Looking into the camera one night, years later, with millions watching, Darren spoke from the heart. Listen, chat. I know some of y'all out there feel like I used to. Lonely, invisible, like nobody cares. But I promise you, your pain can be your power. Your struggle can be your story. And if a loud, crazy kid like me can make it, so can you. The chat flooded with love. Speed, you saved my life. I show Speed forever. From lonely to legend. And Darren smiled, because the boy who had no friends in school had become one of the biggest YouTubers in the world.